All right, guys, it's another episode of Meet the Team Monday. This is Inside the Scoop with the Brown Home Group with your very own Rick Brown. And I am excited to have sitting next to me the infamous David Hickey from the Brown Home Group. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Good. So this is going to be real simple, laid back. Really what I did this whole thing for, and you're kind of like my last victim. I mean, person, team member.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Just really wanted everybody out there in Facebook world to get to know you and kind of get to know you on a personal level and not just about your success in real estate, which we'll talk about. But for the most part, really just to get to know who David Hickey is as a person and, where you come from, how you got into business, what did you do before you got in the business, and maybe a couple fun facts along the way. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool. All right. So I kind of know a few things about you, but I probably am going to learn myself a few things here. The first one would be is kind of where you grew up. Now, if I remember rightly, you are a native Floridian.
That's correct. I actually grew up in Winter Park.
In Winter Park.
Yep.
So you never really moved around.
No. My parents bought the house that they still live in when I was a year old, and
wow.
I only I lived in one place prior to that, but I obviously don't remember it. But yeah, I mean once I got into that adult lifestyle, I had some roommates and moved around, but I pretty much stayed anywhere from Winter Park to Waterfield Lakes and kind of in the middle.
Okay. And then so far as going to school, high school, I know you and I went to the same alma mater, Lake Cal.
Yes, we did. Yep. Yep. And I went to Valencia for a little while. I ended up getting a really good job at a pharmacy. So without making excuses, I didn't finish Valencia. But that's kind of what got me into that world for a while.
Okay. So what was your first job you ever had?
I actually worked at Publix. I was 16 years old, and I worked there until I was 21.
But you were a bagger?
I started off as a bagger, went to a cashier. I got into customer service. And when I worked there, they actually had the Publix gas stations called Pix gas stations, and I worked out there until I decided to leave.
It's funny. That's the one thing that I never did is work at a grocery store. I've done restaurants, I've done fast food, but I never did grocery stores. And I think actually you're the only one because I think Michael worked at Burger King, or I can't remember now, but Janine worked at McDonald's. So we've all worked at fast foods, but I don't think any of us worked at a grocery store.
What's funny is I've never worked at a fast food place.
Right.
So that is
crazy.
Yeah.
So what was your first car?
My first car, I've only had a couple of them. It was a 2003 Ford Ranger. It was a pickup truck.
That's crazy. Okay. So I know you. Obviously, I know you like cars and trucks and boats.
A little bit of everything.
You got to tell us, how many have you owned?
If I count correctly, I believe that I'm at either 18 or 19 vehicles since I was like 17.
Holy mackerel.
And that doesn't take into consideration like boats or other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know you have a family started. You got a beautiful family. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your family?
Okay. Thank you. And so my wife and I have been together for, I guess, 5-6 years now. We got married in 2017, and we have one son. He just turned a year old in March of this year. So
that's awesome.
He's just starting to learn how to walk and becoming quite a handful.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do when you water them, right? They grow.
Oh yeah, growing fast.
And then you have a brother?
Yes, I have a brother. He's 2 years younger than me, and he is a full-time employee at Apple. And he's also going to UCF. Something to do with, I think, a computer degree, but it's all going to be tied in with the job that he currently has. So he's really enjoying himself.
And your mom and dad are right around the corner. They love their grandchild. They see him pretty much every chance they get.
Oh yeah.
Great babysitter.
Oh yes. Same with my in-laws. Right around the corner.
So tell us about what your last job was before you decided that real estate was where you wanted to put your career.
So my last job, I actually worked at a specialty pharmacy, and I kind of bounced around between two main things, which was insurance and billing. I started in it's actually specialty pharmacy, and what that kind of get into what that means is it's usually high cost drugs or cancer related drugs is normally what it would result to. So
So you're
my
a
job
drug
was
dealer. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, basically. No, so basically my job was to get people's insurance to pay for their medications that they obviously needed, and also to find any sort of copay assistance to reduce the cost. Our job wasn't to make money off of them. It was to basically, we were nonprofit. It was essentially to get them what they needed at an affordable cost. And then towards the end of my career there, I went into the billing side of it. It wasn't so much patient interaction. It was just more of the back end side to make sure that everything was processed correctly. Um, it just wasn't what I wanted to do forever.
Right. Yeah. So, are you willing to share a favorite memory growing up? Anything that comes to mind that would, if somebody would ask you that question?
Yeah, probably one of my favorite memories growing up is my grandparents lived next door to my parents. They actually bought the house purposely to be next door to them. And unfortunately, they've passed away since then. But growing up, being able to go over next door to your grandparents' house was awesome. They'd pick us up from the bus stops in my grandpa's old truck and kind of take us around down the street.
That's really
It
cool.
was really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, is there anything that you'd be willing to share that nobody knows about Mr. David Hickey? And maybe I don't even know.
I guess a couple of things. I used to ride motorcycles. I've actually had two different motorcycles, so I rode those for a while, and I got hit. The lady decided that she wanted to hit me and drive off, so I kind of ended that. But the other thing is I have a small YouTube channel, so I got about 400 people that follow me.
Okay.
It's just a video game YouTube channel, something I do for fun on the side, and it's hard to like expose it because like I always am fearful what people will say, especially when it's on the internet. But it's something that I do that most people don't know that I do.
So so again, not to go too much into it, but it's a gaming channel.
Yeah, so I do a lot of computer games. I have a high end computer that can play a lot of them, and so
So you
it's
actually play in the game on the channel?
yeah. So I actually play it on the channel. Then I have a recording software, and I usually will edit it and upload it to YouTube. So it's not a live video, but it's usually posted a
Is
day
it
or
a
so.
particular game?
Mainly Grand Theft Auto. We have a particular server that has all kinds of, in-depth aspects to it. It's not just a normal game. I could talk about it for
Wait,
hours.
you can
But
play Grand Theft Auto?
yeah,
Oh, so you
but
have to come over and show me how to play the damn game. I have it on my PlayStation 3, and I can't even play it.
yeah, I'll have to.
I get
Well,
killed out of the first round.
yeah, I'll help you out with that. Don't worry.
But I thought that game, if you finish a level, doesn't it end? Like, doesn't the game end, or can you like create different stories, or how does that work?
Well, what it is, it's a completely custom modded server on the computer. So basically, it's a realistic aspect of it. They call it more of a role play server. So there's
Okay,
actual people that act as police officers or act as civilians, and you actually register driver's license and license plates and all that stuff. So it's more of it's supposed to be a realistic aspect, and it uses the game as a platform versus just the kind of play by yourself aspect of the normal game. So like I
gotcha.
said, it can get really in depth, but it's pretty cool.
Oh well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, so you were doing this pharmacy thing, and then you decided that wasn't working. And how do we come about Keller Williams and real estate, and what does that look like?
So I've always been interested in real estate. It just I think that the 100% commission based pay is scary. I mean, I think for anybody when you have a decent salary and you got insurance and all that stuff, it's really scary to do that. But I met my
I guess
wonderful
for
wife, and
anybody.
yeah, well, thankfully my wife had a really good job. She was working in HR at the time, and we had we were getting married and getting things going, and we decided that it was time for me to take advantage of it, of what I want to do, which was to look in the real estate. So
Right.
she said, why don't you go ahead and reach out to different agencies? So I interviewed probably at 5 or 6 different places, ended up settling with Keller Williams. I actually interviewed at the Lake Nona office originally, and about 6 months later went over to the Waterford office, which is where I still am.
Gotcha.
And I joined, and they told me that I needed to go full time to really get the full aspect of it and make this a career. I sold 2 houses, quit my full time job, and I've been with Keller ever since. And that was honestly the best decision I ever made.
Wow. So obviously, we're going to get into a little bit about your real estate career because it's been very successful, and I know it's not where you want to be, but it's definitely a good start. You've been with real estate now 2 years, 3 years.
Going on 3 years now, yeah.
Okay. And
About two and a half.
obviously,
Yeah.
you joined Keller Williams for what aspect? Like, what chose you to come into Keller Williams?
Well, it was really the environment. I mean, like I said, I don't want to name names, but I interviewed at a bunch of other places, and it wasn't as welcoming. It was, I feel like, a little bit more cutthroat.
Right.
And when I interviewed with Keller Williams, I feel like, just walking through the hallway, people were saying hi to me and smiling, and it's like they want you to be there. And the atmosphere, it's a winning atmosphere. It's not there's enough for everybody. So it was not like they don't look at me as a threat when I come into the office, and it was just very comfortable and warming.
So you would say that there's a very warm culture.
Absolutely.
Something that we know at Keller Williams, and I'm right there with you when it comes to why I joined Keller Williams. That there was just that culture of the camaraderie. We never felt like we were being competed against.
Correct. I knew absolutely nobody in Keller Williams coming into Keller Williams. I had no relationship with anybody outside of just random agents you run into.
Right.
And it's honestly the best decision I made.
So when you joined Keller Williams, you started off as a single agent, correct?
I did, yes. Yeah, I started off as a single agent. I went through the coaching program and completed that. And I went on my own, and I wasn't as I don't want to say I wasn't as active, but I definitely wasn't as successful as I was originally hoping to be.
Right. And then you would say that well, first off, let me back up. If anybody is interested in looking at a real estate career, David definitely would love to speak to you about it. We can definitely get you into career night at Keller Williams. And in the link, we'll make sure that David's information's there. So if you're interested in having a conversation and just getting an idea of how David got into the business, or maybe scheduling an appointment with me, we would definitely love to have that conversation and see where that looks for your business. Real estate's not for everybody, right, Dave?
Absolutely.
And unless you have that conversation, or at least have the discussion, you won't know if it's right for you.
Absolutely. Like I said, it could change your life. I mean, the opportunities that this career can offer to you is right. Endless.
Now you started as a single agent, and then what brought you into joining the Brown Home Group?
Well, as you know, I started as a single agent, and then, like I said, I kind of went through that coaching program, and then I just felt lost. It wasn't so much the coaching program itself; it was just more me. Like, once I got into it, I felt like I wanted to sell homes, and I wanted to reach out to people and meet new clients, but I just wasn't bringing in enough to keep me active. And so what I did is I actually I got one of the desks I paid for monthly upstairs. Like I said, I had my own little cubicle and tried treating it more like a 9 to 5 like I was used to.
Right.
I definitely took advantage of the freedom and not coming into the office at the very beginning, and I had to switch that.
Sure.
After doing that for a while, you were actually, I think you were going to Mega Camp or Family Reunion, one of the two, and you actually approached me. Right. And yeah, you approached me and asked if I was interested in helping you with some people that you couldn't handle or that you were going out of town with.
Right.
And I took care of those people. I jumped on it. I was really on my way out, and I haven't left.
Yeah, I remember, because I came back and you had already, I think you were under contract with 2 of them, and you were working with another buyer. And yeah, as they say, the rest is history. And you've been with the Brown Home Group now for going on 2 years or over.
Right about 2 years now. Yeah.
Right.
I was on my way out. The day that you asked me to help you out, I was applying to jobs at other places. I was not where I wanted to be, and I'm really glad that you stepped up and talked to me that day.
Well, and as I've always said to you, and as I would say to any agent, that if you're coming in and you're being purposeful and doing the activities, sometimes the accountability can be very beneficial. And I think that's really what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are agents out there that can do it as a single agent. Some can do it as a single agent and get the tools and then, join a team or what have you. But I think some people like yourself can be leaders on a team, and which means sort of like what we have done. We've grown our team to 7 agents, and you've stepped up, and not only were you a mentor for our team, but now recently you've moved into a lead buyer agent role and helping, keep our agents accountable and what have you. You were Rookie of the Year last year, which is amazing for a team.
4 teams. Yep.
Yep. And your production has continued to rise every year. This year, I think you've already exceeded last year based on production, and you're going to probably either double or triple your performance. And
That's the plan. Yeah.
your success has definitely shined with the team, not just in production, but in your knowledge, your support, your advice, your education. All of that has helped grow our team, and definitely I appreciate and thankful for having you alongside me. As I always say, no one ever works for me; they work alongside me, and you are definitely a
Absolutely.
partner of our team and the performance that you've shown.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about being a realtor?
The best thing about a realtor is the flexibility of being able to be here with my wife and son when I need to be. I mean, I have a very good support at home where my wife knows if the phone rings, I need to take it. If I got to step out of the show, she allows me to. There's never any holdback.
Right?
But the ability to be able to come home in the middle of the day if necessary to handle something, or to be able to go to the doctor's appointments with the baby, to me that's huge. It's not being stuck at that desk from 9 to 5, and just, like I
Yeah.
said, just a flexibility really.
I remember when Michelle was pregnant, it was easy for you to get to doctor's appointments and be able to be there for her, and that is so important.
Absolutely.
Family is definitely number one in our team, and definitely should be. Um, what if you could go back and do anything differently? Is there anything you would have done differently in getting into real estate?
Joined the team a lot sooner. No, I actually was when I came into real estate, I talked to a couple of people in regards to possibly joining a team. I was discouraged a little bit by a couple of people that just mentioned you really should try it on your own, which I do agree. I think coming into real estate, you need to try it as a single agent for a little bit.
Yeah.
But they said, try that first, and so I kind of hung back, and
I
it
think you
just
appreciate it more, don't you, Dave? I mean,
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming into the team, it's just like it was such a fresh air. Like just it was amazing. Like having people actually support you, and not that you don't have it in the normal market center in the normal
right.
company, but it's different when you got that team of people. You're sitting in the office together every day, and you're chatting with them, and you can call them, and it changed everything for me.
Yeah. If someone's watching right now, maybe thinking about getting into real estate, is there any like a piece of advice that you might give them?
Do it. Investigate it, look into it. The biggest thing is, if obviously you want to have a little bit of savings built up if possible, because we
Absolutely.
don't get a normal paycheck. However, it's really as much as you want to put into it. Don't be scared to give it a try. I highly recommend at least investigating it. Come in and talk to us, sit with us. You're not obligated to sign anything. Just come, follow us, see what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I say this and I'm going to try to catch myself. I mean, if you're not ready to put in 100% of your time into this, you're going to get what you put in, right? So
Right.
people try to do this part-time as a hobby. And if that's what you want to do, then it's not that you can't do it, but don't expect to make it a career.
I agree with you.
I think, what you did by jumping in both feet, I think you saw that, definitely when you did that, you were able to create more opportunity. And yes, I think being on a team, there's a lot of benefits to it. But I think there's people out there that, don't want to have that accountability. They want to do it on their own and be that, as you call, entrepreneur. I think,
Yeah.
that's fine as well. And I do agree. You should start as an individual agent because I think you appreciate people like Maria, who's on our team, and is a huge benefit, huge asset that you don't get when you're a single agent. You're doing a lot of it on your own.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
Having an admin in the office is a game changer as well. Like it's just another aspect to the being on a team and the support from the team. And again, anybody that's interested in it, we can kind of give you a breakdown as far as how our team works, how a team in general works, and see if that works for you.
absolutely. Well, Dave, I appreciate being on. This has been awesome. I'm going to give you the last word. If there's anything you want to say out there to Facebook world, obviously you want to plug yourself in real estate. If somebody's looking, they can reach out to you and you'll take very good care of them. But you got the last word.
Well, again, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be here and the opportunity to be a part of this. But I mean, going back to like what you said, like kind of like a shameless plug, if you do need assistance in real estate, either thinking about joining, buying, selling, investing, just have general questions, even about refinancing, give us a call. We can get you in the right directions. Love to be able to help you out with anything. We all do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You call me at 10 o'clock on a Sunday, I'm more than likely going to answer, or you're going to get a call right back.
3
So
o'clock
please
in the
give me
morning
a call.
if necessary, right?
I have taken calls at 3 o'clock in the morning that lasted 2 hours. I was falling asleep on the phone, but
Yeah.
again, we
Not
make sure
calling
that
them, right? You text
no,
them and then they
yeah,
text you back. But
they texted me and asked
clarify
for me
that.
to give them a call, and I
Yeah,
was awake, so I decided to do so, which turned into quite a long conversation. But either way, we're here to help you all out. We want everybody to be successful, and I'm telling you, if you can buy a home, buy one. Now's the time to do it.
absolutely. Well, David, as always, you're awesome. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And again, this has been another edition of Inside the Scoop with the Brown Home Group. As always, make it a great day.
Thank you.